Karibu mtazamaji kwenye kipindi cha Juzi ya Kuogofya. Kipindi cha Juzi ya Kuogofya ni kipindi ambacho kinawaleta ama kinahusisha watu wenye hadithi mbalimbali. Nilipokuwa nikianza kipindi hiki cha Juzi ya Kuogofya, nilianza mimi mwenyewe kwa sababu nilikuwa na hadithi ya kuogofya, nilikuwa na juzi ya kuogofya. Lakini cha msingi ni kwamba wengi ambao sisi waleta hapa kutupa hadithi zao, wanatupatia hadithi ya juzi ya kuogofya, lakini jana na leo yao inakuwa ya kuvutia. Na ni hadithi ambazo zinakupatia changamoto, hadithi ambazo zinaweza kukukanya panapobidi, hadithi ambazo zinaweza kukurudisha kwenye laini, na hadithi ambazo zinaweza kukupatia tumaini kwenye maisha. Mtazamaji, mimi ninakualika siku ya leo kwenye kipindi hiki cha Juzi ya Kuogofya. Mimi sitaki nipoteze muda. Mgeni ambaye niko naye hapa siku ya leo ni mgeni ambaye wakati alikuja hapa kwenye kipindi cha Juzi ya Kuogofya, mimi sikuwa, na Emily ndiye alimhoji. Mimi hadithi yake sijui. Yeye aliwapa hadithi nyinyi watazamaji, na akafikisha hadithi yake mahali ambapo sijui. Na wengi kupitia kwa njia ya message wakaandika, madam arudi hapa akaweze kutumalizia story. So huenda mimi ndio sitajua kwenye story ilianza, lakini nitafurahia kuenjoy kusikiza kwenye story ilifika. Karibu sana madam.
Nashukuru.
I was almost calling you mheshimiwa. Sijui kwa nini hiyo kitu imeingia nikuite mheshimiwa. Yes, karibu sana. Mimi sitapoteza muda, nitataka usalimie mtazamaji, kisha tuendelee na program.
Asante. Nashukuru mtazamaji asubuhi ya leo na kusalimia katika jina la Yesu Kristo, na kusema ya kwamba Yesu ni Bwana hata asubuhi ya leo, na kufurahia atakuwa hapa pahali hapa na kuencourage na kujiencourage kwa mambo yale ambayo yako katika maisha yetu. Ni asante sana kwa sababu hata ya kutamani kusikia hadithi ambayo na mambo ambayo nimepitia, bali sasa nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya matendo makuu ambayo amefanya. Tulikuwa hapa kama wiki 4 hivi zimepita ama 3, na tukashare na nyinyi hadithi yangu, na ninashukuru Mungu kwa sababu kuna wale wameisikiza na wametiwa mtisha. Na kwa hivyo pahali niliachia, kwa sababu huku wako Jose, ni eti kwamba nimeenda in the street na nimekuwa street child after mzazi wangu kuaga, na huyo mwingine baba yangu siku najua pahali hapo, kwa sababu alitufukuza nyumbani nikiwa wa mwaka 1. Na sasa mama yangu ameaga nikiwa wa miaka 5, na tumeachwa bila pahali pa kuishi. Hatukuweza kulipa nyumba kwa sababu watoto wetu, na ni mimi nilikuwa mdogo, hao pia walikuwa wadogo, lakini ndugu yangu mkubwa aliweza kuanza kuvibarua. Na hapo ndipo nikasema dada yangu ambaye nimefuata akachukuliwa na familia fulani, na hiyo familia ilimchukua awe babysitter wao. Na hapo sasa ndio nami nikapata njia ya kuenda kuishi pahali, na ndiposa nikatoka kutoka street. Na nilisema muda huo mwingine eti kwamba mimi sikuwa fully in the street, nilikuwa naenda natafuta chakula. Jioni ndugu zangu wakikuja, wakitoka vibarua, wananiletea kale kamkate kalikuwa kadogo na kamaziwa kalikuwa kadogo. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio ilikuwa chakula yangu, nami nikienda kwa mapipa pale Westlands kwa Wahindi. Na last time nikaambia wasikizaji na watazamaji eti kwamba kuna beans ambazo ama mitungi ambayo tulikuwa tunajua ni ya Muhindi. Wahindi huweka chakula ambayo ni safi. So tulikuwa tukitoka kijijini pale Kangemi, tunakimbia kuangalia ni beans gani. So tunachukua chakula, na zikiwa nyingi nawekea ndugu zangu mpaka jioni.
Wow. Lakini
hawako wanajua ninatoa wapi.
Wow.
So nashukuru Mungu. Nilienda nikakua pahali nifikisha 5 years. Ndio mwenye alikuwa na dada yangu akaambia dada zake eti kwamba kuna kasichana kadogo kaliachwa, na mwenye alikuwa naishi naye houseboy wake ndiye alikuwa cousin ya mama yangu. Kwa hivyo sisi tulikuwa anamuita anko. So anko ndiye aliwaambia kuna kasichana kadogo kaliitwa, akaliachwa na mama yake, na mimi sasa Leah Waithera. Na akasema sikaletwe nione kama kuna dada yangu mmoja anaweza kuchukua. So after wakawa na family gathering, mmoja akasema atakachukua. Na pale nilifikisha ni eti kwamba nililetwa Nakuru. Na pahali nilikuwa niletwe walikuwa weupe sana. So waliniangalia wakashindwa, nugu hii imeletwa kwao. Actually that was the statement.
Yes.
Huyu ni mweusi sana, hatuwezi ishi naye huku. And mama yao alikuwa very frustrated. Akapigia dada yake. Dada yake akasema mimi naweza kuwa sitaweza kumpeleka shule, lakini ninaweza kumulisha. Na diposa sasa akaniitisha nikakuja hapa Bahati.
So actually you're saying wale walikataa because of your color?
Yes.
And they are Kenyans?
And I was very thin and looking miserable.
Hawa ni watu wenyu?
Hapana.
Oh, they are, ni watu tu?
Ni watu tu.
Oh.
Ni watu tu walikuwa wasaidie. But I thank God for them also. Because I don't think I would have really fitted in that family. Okay. That family was very high. Very high class. Okay. In this Nakuru. And I love them even today. Later on, unajua sasa ni utoto, walikuwa wachanga. Later on, kama wali realize. And we are very good friends now. Okay. We are relatives. Wow. Yeah, they joined me in their family later on. Okay. As in things that we do together. So, nikakuja Bahati. Nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya mama. Mama yangu mlezi na amenilea katika Ukristo. Na si kwamba hakuwa na watoto. Alikuwa na watoto 7. Nikakuwa wa 8. Akapata mwingine nyuma yangu, ambaye sasa ni daktari Ulaya. Na sasa tukakuwa 9. Na haku feel eti kwamba hiyo namba ni kubwa sana.
So when you came there, ulikuja kufanya kazi gani ama?
Sasa mtoto wa miaka 5, si ni kwanza alishwe. Lakini being a teacher in Our Lady of Fatima, she decided, wakati wa shule haziko zinalipwa, tulikuwa tunalipa 7 shillings za michezo na sijui na mitihani. So nikaingia shule na nikafanya vizuri. Our Lady of Fatima nilifanya class 7 ya mwisho, na nikapata sasa shule zile ambazo niliitwa singeweza kulipa, na mama alikuwa na watoto wengi shuleni. So tukatafuta sponsorship, ni kama zilikuwa zinakwama. Kwa hivyo nilireport shule ya mwisho ambayo nilikuwa shule yangu ya kwanza ilikuwa Moi Girls Eldoret. Alafu nikaomba Bahati Girls, Naivasha Girls na Joro Girls. So kwa nilikuwa nimejiplace pahali nilijua nitapita. Na hakika nilipita. I was the first girl in Our Lady of Fatima in my year. Na nakumbuka wakati ndio nimeitwa Moi Girls, sikuwa na fees, na nilikuwa naelewa mama ile mzigo alikuwa nayo. Na ilikuwa ni heshima sana hata kufika class 7. So niliona alikuwa amejitolea sana. So ninashukuru Mungu. Ya mwisho ile nilipata barua. No, that time it was very interesting. Yes. Ukikosa kwenda shule ya kwanza unatumiwa barua, na shule ya pili, ya 3 inakutumia mpaka sasa ya 4. So ya 3 ndio walinitumia barua. No, ya 4. Ya 3. Ya 3 akawa yule principal alikuwa huko. Alikuwa anamsomesha Momoi Primary School. So akaona aende aongee na yeye na amwambie hali yangu. Na akaenda mpaka Naivasha Girls High School. Na principal akamsikiliza, lakini akamwambia kulingana na BOM ya hapa ni lazima alipe kitu kidogo. So akakuja akatafuta marafiki, nikalipiwa kitu kidogo, nikaingia. Lakini niliingia na after 2 weeks tukafunga. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa nimechelewa. So kurudi ni fees, kazi ya kutafuta fees. Nashukuru Mungu aliniongoza, kwa sababu nilikuwa nasomesha Sunday school kanisani mwetu PCA Phyllis. So wazee wa kanisa wakawa na upendo mwingi sana juu yangu, na pia nilikuwa muibaji, na ninakumbuka the late mzee ndiye alikuwa a former counselor Nakuru, akatafuta basari na nikaweza kurudi Naivasha Girls. Nirudi Naivasha Girls sasa form 1 mwezi wa 6. So nakumbuka nilisoma wiki 2 tu. Lakini nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya principal wangu ambaye ninapenda sana. She still alive, ni gone to visit her. Mungu akubariki sana. So nikaendelea sasa na shule. Form 1, form 2 sikuwa na shida. Form 3 kizungumkuti. Fees ikakosekana, Nakuru Municipal Council, bazaars ikasimama. Na kwa hivyo form 3 nilisoma hata moja tu. Nikaenda kutafuta kazi. Na nikaajiriwa na muhindi, kazi ya kufagia nje. Na nikaanza kufagia. Na zile pesa nilikuwa nimeambia manager wake. Kwa nini waliona huyu msichana ni mdogo na anaelewa mambo, she can speak English. Wakashindwa ni nini. Nikaambia manager wake shida yangu. So akaambia muhindi. Na huyo muhindi akapeana pesa. So hata sikumaliza kile kibarua. And imagine nilikuwa nafagia pahali miti na mwaga majani. Na kwa hivyo kila asubuhi majani ni tele, saa 4. So you had to clean the compound clean. So akanipea pesa. Ndugu yangu ambaye ni mkubwa kuliko mimi alikuwa already ameoa. He was young. Alikuwa ameoa. So zile pesa nikarudi nazo nyumbani na nikaonyesha ndugu yangu zile pesa nimepewa. Kumbe bibi yake aliona. Akaenda kachomoa zile pesa. So nimejitayarisha niamkie kwenda Naivasha Girls. Ninakuta niko na 200.
Wow.
Na nilikuwa nimepewa 1,500. That was a lot of money. So nililia tu. Ndugu yangu akamuuliza, sisi watatu tu tuko huku, pesa zilienda wapi? So na akakana kabisa. Na nikaona sasa familia imeleta shida. Lakini niliweza kwenda shule kwa sababu hizo pesa zilikuwa zimenitosha. By then kwenda kwenda Naivasha nilikuwa nalipa 20 bob.
Wow. Okay.
Nikiwa na uniform. So at least nilijua niko na pesa za kubaki. Lakini matumizi, ndugu yangu Jose nilikuwa nagojea watu waoge. Alafu naenda kuchukua uto sabuni tudogo na tuweka pamoja. So I would bathe with all the colors ya tusabuni. Lakini nashukuru Mungu. Na hata uto tusabuni ndio nilikuwa natumia kuosha nguo. And I kept very clean. You'll be surprised. Kuna wakati nilikuwa napewa hata zawadi za kuwa the cleanest girl. Lakini tusabuni nimechukua tu the leftovers because I was schooling with very rich people. So the rest of the leftovers za tusabuni. Na pia nikakuwa deputy head girl. Yes.
And when we come back, because tunataka tuende break kidogo. When we come back, you will tell me, because you know when I met you once, there was a time I met you na tulikuwa kuna watu and some of them ulisoma nao. And they were like, "Where? Who you were?" You was giving me a story and ninashindwa aje. Is it true venye nilikuwa tunaambiwa wewe ulikuwa kama umeniambia deputy head and all that, kuna hidden something which is hidden, the cleanest but sabuni aliyokota. Kuna vitu zingine hapa. Anyway, mtazamaji anatumai unazidi kufollow the story, and tunataka kwenda break kidogo, tupunge hewa kidogo, kisha turejee na atumalizie hadithi yake, kwa sababu kuna bado uhondo hujaisha. So don't worry, we'll be back after this. you very much na karibu tena mtazamaji wa Mizpah TV. Tuko kwenye kipindi cha Juzi Ya Kuogofya. We are back here today. Tuko na amazing guest, Madam Leah, who is giving us her story. Wengi wetu tunamjua tu. Unajua ile mtu mwenye mnajua tu kumuona bata. Saizi tatu tunasikiza story ya mtu mahali alitoka. Now, umeenda shule na shilingi 200. Ukaokota sabuni, ukaoga na ukawa the best, the cleanest student.
Yes.
Yes.
And that life went on like that. I was born again, and I decided now I'll be the pastor of Naivasha Girls. And I felt I had a calling. Na sasa nikasikia kipawa cha kuombea watu kimeingia ndani yangu. Kuna pahali tulikuwa tunaita prayer ground, na wakati tulikuwa tunaenda break ukasema umeambiwa jambo.
Yes.
Na mtu.
Yes.
Na that is where I started preaching. Now una imagine wewe you are deputy head girl, you're on duty in the dining hall sometimes, na uko fasting. Lazima uache watu wote wamekula before you do other things. And it was a rule in Naivasha Girls. Lazima ungekula. So nilikuwa nachukua chakula yangu, of course, kama ni wakati wa nyama inawekwa nyama vizuri ya deputy head girl na prefects. That was, and we used to have a table. So I would pick and share my food with the others. Naambia head girl nimechomoka. So 1 hour prayer ground. And things started changing in my life. And I started seeing God now in a very different way. Now Naivasha, form 3, hata ninapitia hii mioto na bado ninafukuzwa tu kwa sababu ya hizi. So form 3, second term, pesa zikakosekana kabisa. Board ikakuja ikasema kila mtu ataenda nyumbani. So and I went home. And I didn't know where to get money because my brother hangepata pesa za kunilipia shule. Because alikuwa natafuta za kulipa nyumba na chakula yao. So I decided again kuenda kutafuta tukazi. So kurudi shule nilipata pesa kidogo. Nikarudi third term ya form 3. Third term nilirudi in the middle of that term. So nilisoma tu kidogo tukafanya mitihani. Sasa ni kuingia form 4. Form 4 niliingia nikiwa head girl. Head girl ambaye anaweza kufukuzwa anytime because of fees. But there's a saying that I really love that one of the apostles really encourages us with, that discipline is very vital in one's life. Yes. You can go very high because of ability, but discipline is the one that is going to keep you there. And so a few students wakaona Leah anapitia sana. Na unajua weekend challenge nilikuwa nazitengeneza vizuri sana. Tunaita wahubiri wakubwa. Na people would really get saved. Yes. After getting saved, then the following weekend was a disco weekend. Wote wameanguka. So I used to feel a lot of pain. Ninauliza Mungu, ninapitia haya kwa nini? Ninafukuzwa kwa nini? Na ila wewe ni baba yangu. But now, one thing I would also get happy about. Niko na pahali pa kulala, na sijali kuna pesa zitaitishwa za rent. Ninakula vizuri. So to me, school was not just school. It was a home.
It was a home.
And a great home. Because I'm not going to the street.
Yes.
And I'm not getting, tough life. And many people there are respecting you. You are the head girl now. Yes. So you have a name. And the principal asks you, how is the school running? So I felt that's where my leadership started. And even in Our Lady of Fatima, I was the head girl. So leadership began from there. So a few people realized the leadership in me. Form 4, I only went. Second term, first time I couldn't report. I didn't have peace, head girl. Second term, I reported and I did my MOOC. After MOOCs, sinikufunga. So we closed Form 4, that term ikaingia. practical, I didn't know what to do. Yes. But I thank God, a few teachers felt they'll be giving me some extra classes. And thank God for my chemistry teachers, my physics teachers, and biology teachers. They felt they needed to give to me. And they were whites. So I did my Form 4. Thank God. I got Division 3, which would have taken me to the university.
After all these
Yes.
mashidas,
Yes.
Division 3 ilikuwa ni kama max ngapi? Yani kama
Sasa kama ni saa hizi ni C+. Yes. Or B. And now that was the end of my schooling, and I was very happy. I was excited. I finished. But Form 4, somebody came whom the principal has never told me even today, and paid for me all the fees, because they allowed me to take exams. He paid all the fees. I don't know if it's a he or a she. And I was left with 1,000 shillings. And she called me in the office. Leah, I didn't have transport. So I knew I don't know how to go back home. And there were some students who felt deep within them. Like one of them was a daughter of a judge in Nakuru. A justice, somebody now in Nairobi. And she always felt, if I don't have fare, she has the responsibility. And because she used to be picked with that J, GK, J.
Yeah, for judge.
Yeah, for judge.
Yes.
He was Judge Masime. Yes. And that girl always told them that. I mean the driver. If Leah has no transport, I'll go with her. So most of the time I used to come in the Mercedes Benz.
Wow.
So that, our last day after signing out and all that, the principal called me, told me, Leah, somebody paid full fees.
So the arrears and all.
The arrears. And now even if the exams will be out, you're free to come and take your certificate. And there is 1,000 shillings. That time, 1,000.
Was a lot.
I went, bought shoes, no, now a girl, some clothes, and I still had fare. Yes. So that time I didn't go back with the J, with the GK. I went to Naivasha, bought a few clothes, because now I knew I was preparing for a new life. And I came back to Bahati, and I was employed. My first job was with the Joro Canning factory. I went to the lab, but it was so much overwhelming. And the Christian background was not very good. So I didn't like it. I stayed there for 2 months. I didn't like it. The moral standard was bad. I left. And I was employed as a house help. When I was a house help somewhere, Mom called where I was working, and she told me she has gotten a job of a clerical officer with income tax. So I didn't have an ID. So we had to get an ID on an early age now. I went, got an ID. I went to report with a waiting card. With a waiting to be employed by the income tax. Yes. And they allowed. So I became a clerical officer. So a clerical officer who really doesn't know much. But my boss used to understand me. And I did a lot. Be surprised that one time the vice president, I was dealing with his file.
Vice president?
Yes. When he had a loan that made him to get to jail. Yeah. I'm the one who did those arithmetics. Because my boss really trusted, we were very many clerical officers. But somehow, I think because of my age, my genuineness, he trusted me to do the arithmetic. And I did for those particular items. That was the highest post I felt that it's the president, vice president of this country. Later on, I realized that was not my line. And I loved to do with technical work. And I got a chance. I came to church and they had announced that NCCK is sponsoring some students to technical institutions. So I filled the form, and I'm still working. But you know, my salary was 1,500.
Yes.
And I was living in Buruburu with one of my sisters, my foster sisters. So you imagine from Buruburu to community house, or across Nairobi now.
Yes.
So how much am I left with? And I'm earning 1,500 per month.
Yeah.
So there is no feeding. But I kept trusting in God. I used to wake up very early, Jose. I get to Nairobi town, Charter Hall, go for morning devotion, and then I would walk from now Charter House to community house. That's our way of Nairobi.
Yeah.
And I survived like that until I now joined Rift Valley Institute. I was given a chance by NCCK. They paid for me the fees in Rift Valley Institute. So I took my diploma in fashion and design. That time we were calling it material science and fashion. So I did my diploma, and after that, now that was that, and after diploma, I started looking for jobs. So I became a corridor tailor. I found a school now again. I went to Subukia boarding. I started teaching there. While I was in teaching in Subukia, I got an advert with the KTTC. I filled it. Subukia was getting 1,000 shillings per month. But good enough, it was a boarding school. So I used to get fed, and I had a house.
A house there.
Yes. So
I was okay.
to me, it was okay. Having been, I was from COVID, and life is interesting. So after that, I told my foster mother I want to go to KTTC, and she has been with what? I don't have money. So my priest, my reverend, felt now we need to do something for them. So she told me, go ahead and go and take that interview. So I went for the interview. They wanted 18 people in that class, education class, technical education class. And we were 205 who were taking the interview. And people were dropped with the big cars. So I went there, took the interview. That time, you'd finish the interview and you are told the results there immediately. So we waited until 5 because we were so many. So names were called. I was among the number 5. So I knew I was in the class of 18. But a class of 18, but I have no school fees. So I decided I'll remain there and talk to the principal. And I explained to the bazaar, I don't have fees, and I was number 5. What do I do? To me, go home, because you have to report in 2 weeks' time, you will have gotten the fees. Na sitaki kuwe shida hapa. Unaona ni watu wangapi tumeacha. So thank God I came back home. I told my reverend, I shared with mom, and they decided now you'll have a harambe through the church. And he told me you have to report. So I was given 5,000 shillings, and I was supposed to pay 16,000. So when I took to the registrar the 5,000, it was like, now you let you are joking, get to the principal and tell him to give you a space. We'll give you next year a room to come and join us. So I went to the principal. I explained to the principal. I had a letter from my reverend. So I had not shown it to the registrar. So I took it to the principal because I had decided if the registrar becomes difficult, I'll find a way of getting to the principal's office. So I kept on moving up and down. So when I got to the principal, actually the registrar took me to the principal. I had prayed. I had fasted for 7 days. And that time, fasting, you didn't know how to go about it, but you believed, it is going to work.
Yes.
So I went to the principal's office, and he was explained. And he wrote a letter. And now that time, KTTC, they are going for exams now. I'm already late. So he wrote a letter. Can you admit immediately? You know, with 5,000, a first-time student. And the registrar was like, no, this lady has only 5. And the principal said, yes, she has 5,000. She has told me. Admit. And I left there with everything. We were being given even pay kits. A room. A nice room. And I locked my room. I came back to Bahati to pick my belongings. Now, I have come and I've given all the 5,000. So what do I go back with? While I was in town and I prepared everything, Mom had only 200 shillings. Where now there is the Safaricom shop. I went and stood there.
Income.
Yes, Pincam. And I told God, I'm standing here with my box and I'm going to KTTC. Give me faith. One of the elders in PCA, Nakuru, came. I was a singer. I was a leader in the youth. Came and greeted me with a lot of excitement. Where are you going with the box? There, you know. I told him, sir, I'm going to KTTC and I have no faith. Amejilete. And nobody has greeted me for the last 30 minutes.
Yes.
So I knew this is God.
Yes.
And I would take that chance.
Yes.
And that's how my life has been. So he gave me 500 shillings. Joe, may the Lord bless you. Yes. Joe is the manager in Tumaini. PCA Tumaini.
Okay.
In Joro.
Yeah.
He gave me 500 shillings. So exciting. I went to KTTC. And I started classes.
Yes.
I'm very excited. Especially the PE kids were really exciting me.
Yes.
So finally, it was not easy also in KTTC, but my reverend organized, and I came back. We did the Harambe. You know how many people were in that room, and we did it over 60,000. The adults were 20. The rest of the room was full with the Sunday school kids. Their teacher has come back.
Yes.
And there was rice to eat. So 20 people with 70,000 that time.
It was not a joke.
It was not a joke. But do you know what? God told me, spoke to me. I was very down. God spoke to me and he told me, each one of them is going to contribute what they have, and I will double it. And I was just seated and I heard a voice. And I told God, what? Yes. Believe you me. We raised 60. Fees for the whole year in that congregation. When I went back to KTTC and not realized that my registrar had told the lecturers. So in KTTC, I got 34,000. So I had even money for upkeep. I kept very smart. I didn't have problem for for buying the materials I needed, which were more expensive. And I thank God. That's how I did my diploma in technical education. From there, of course, I started teaching in technical institutes. And now I was employed by the government.
Wow.
And I'm a principal.
Right now.
Yes, in Tithe.
In Tithe. Wow.
So I thank God. I've shortened my story.
Yes.
It's quite long.
Oh.
And I became a single. Last time I told my sister, I became a single mother along the way. And later on, I got married to Canon Solomon Kamau late. May my husband rest in peace. And when I was getting married, the Lord told me, I'm changing your name. Because I had refused to be married by him. God spoke to me and he said, I am changing your name. And sure enough, I've gone heights through mke wa Canon. Yes.
Yes.
And you'll hear so many people calling me Mrs. Canon. God can change your name.
Amen.
Only be positive in life. Only trust in him. He'll take us high heights. And that is our God. He will never change. He will never, what he has destined us to be, we can only change it through sin. If we are focused to him, if we trust in him, and if we lift others up, and that is why I just say you'll always find me with my class is very low. I will lift you up until I see what you are in life. That has been my business. So my teaching is not just teaching. I'm in a mission to lift those that are down. And that is why I felt I wanted to work with Tibet. Because that is why you have children maybe who have been left out in the community. And it's like they feel no one wants them. No, everybody feels like they cannot do it in life. So I have always encouraged them. I went to Egerton University later on when I was married to take my degree in ICT, interior design. And yeah, and I was breaking the barrier of education in my family. And I told God, I'm joining Egerton University to break barriers that have been put in my family, to break poverty in my family. And so my firstborn son has taken degree in construction management.
Wow.
And he left there with second class honors, upper division.
Wow.
And that is my God.
Wow.
My family members have lifted them up through prayer. And if my sister has a garage in Madaraka, her own garage. And she's been in DT Dobi. That's where she's been working. So breaking those yokes in life, when the Lord speaks to you to break yokes, break them. It's costly, but if you're serious about it, and you join men of God, like I was brought up in those early ages when I was teaching by the director here, Mizpah, Apostle Jesse Karanja.
Yes.
He brought me up in one of the schools, Oasis Academy.
Oasis, yeah.
And he was my manager. So Mizpah itself, I was one of the people who came to do the groundwork.
Yes.
Because I love getting to the men of God and holding their clothes so that I'm able to be blessed.
Blessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
May the Lord bless you.
Wow.
I've cut short my story.
Yes.
It's quite long. I've gone through challenges.
Yes.
After my husband passed on, I got an accident.
And what I know is that apart from all this, and you are the best motivational speaker, and I believe we'll be slotting you somewhere because you need to encourage many people. Your story is encouraging, and apart from having an encouraging story, you are in that field of encouraging other people. I know your story. I know. Okay, I didn't know your story, but I know what you do. I personally, you have encouraged me in many ways out there without knowing your story, but your passion of encouraging people, it is seen all over. And I've gone with you somewhere, and I had people saying, so when you tell me about preaching in high school, I know it from people, because somebody was saying, where? Maya ne Maguta. And when she was calling you Maguta, I'm like, I joke with Madam Leah, mimi ni sister yangu, sisi ucheza na yeye. But kumbe kuna watu wenye wanajua what you did back in high school, na watu wanatambua. And I believe, hata hiyo surgery yenye unaenda, hizo tu ni part za maisha. Wewe kwenye umetoboa.
Actually, when I got the accident, I came here for 3 days prayer, family prayers, and fasting. Yes. And I was on a wheelchair. And when I got in the chapel, I was given crutches. And you know, when we were in the middle of prayers, when our brother Hudson was praying, my crutches fell. I didn't know how to pick them down, but I was like, now, I don't know what to do. Agnes is deep in prayer. I didn't know if I would speak to her because I felt like I would fall. But you know, when those crutches fell, people are just like away from me. And I lifted my leg. I started moving. You know, I followed Apostle JC to the door. And he was like walking He came back to the chapel and we praised God.
Wow.
I left my crutches
Wow.
in Mizpah
Amen.
and I started walking.
Wow, those are testimonies and testimonies. And like an encourage you nikwambie, wewe ni wale wenye mmeshinda kifo. Because actually the stories kwenye umepita sikia hasa ingine umeiteta hapa ya clutches. Wewe already umeshinda kifo. Na kama mtu ameshinda kifo, hakuna kitu inaweza mtisha along the way. So, wewe ni huyo, we also have others like Lucy Johnson wenye walishinda kifo. Somebody when kila mtu, okay, I personally also nilishinda kifo. When everybody said, including my father, wakati aliset aside 10,000 for my coffin, it's because aliona the only thing umebakisha ni kukufa. Na wakati unaenda unashinda hiyo kifo, mimi sionagi kama kuna kitu yenye inaweza nisumbua kwa hiyo. And that is the same case applies to you.
And when I look at you,
yes,
I am encouraged.
You see God.
I see God.
Wow, mtazamaji, thank you very much. Sisi tukianza kuongea hapa because I know we have a lot of testimonies. Na tunashukuru sana because of finding time kukuja hapa, and I know hapa Mizpah hautachoka. And one thing ulinifurahisha because najua uko engaged kwa other things. You told me hizo wacha zigoje ya Mungu tuanze kwanza. So thank you very much. We honor you coming. Tunashukuru sana. And I know somebody amekuwa encouraged. Mtazamaji, sisi kufikia hapo hatutaongeza mengine mengi. Na kipindi cha Juzi ya Kuogofya kimefika mwisho. Na tunasema ni asante kwa sababu ya kukuwa mtazamaji ama shabiki wa hiki kipindi. Thank you very much.